Lance, you want to add to that? What's your rebuttal to all of that?
Actually, I'm still curious. When you threw the banner, what did anybody respond in the physics world and say this guy's on to something?
No, that's not how you do physics. You go to grad school.
Well, then why did you? What was the point of the banner?
Because I had this theory.
But
I
I
still
mean-
have the theory.
But
I was saying dibs on this idea. I may never get it right and develop it, but I had the theory before you, motherfucker. There was somebody, I forget his name, who, before Einstein, came up with a theory, E equals 3/4 mc squared. That guy, I assume, felt a little bit chagrined about the whole relativity thing. He was so frickin' close.
wow.
So I was just calling dibs.
Aren't you supposed to submit a paper to the National
can't. If I've
Academy
got
of
no-
Sciences?
I was a not very well-behaved student. I didn't go to grad school. I looked at the physics department had pictures of all their grad students, of whom, like 40 of them, and of whom, I don't know, 38 or 39 were dudes at least. And of those dudes, like most of them had fucked up hair. And I look at those dudes and I'm like, wow, they do a lot of thinking with their noggins, and that really cooks the hair right off their head. And I want to get a girlfriend. And I'm lazy, so I will just do a shitty job of going to school in physics. I would just fall asleep in class and drool brutally all over my desk, and then stagger out of the room in the middle of the class because there was no point in just being passed out drooling. And I would be so stunned by the boringness that I would just fall down as if shot with a tranquilizer dart on the nice lawn outside the physics building and sleep for like 40 minutes.
Didn't anybody try to encourage you, or?
There was some encouragement, but I was also kind of self-sabotagey. If you never follow the program and you never put your ideas up to legitimate challenge, then you can never be wrong. There's been a little bit of a fear dance of me and my stupid theory and having it evaluated seriously, even though it's fucking right.
And your theory about how do you know it's right?
Because it makes sense and it's consistent with how the universe and how information and how thinking work.
What does thinking have to do with the shape of the universe?
Well, thinking is the sharing of information within an information space among various associative nodes and networks that can, based on the contents of thought, can pull up relevant information. So thinking is information processing in a kind of widely distributed way. It's not linear information processing as in a computer. But it seems to have in terms of the economics of thought, it's super efficient to throw certain novel sets of stimuli into a central arena, associative arena, where you can let the entire associative information base of your information space have a shot at pulling up associations or predictions. There's a book that I keep bringing up, which is How Emotions Are Made by Lisa Barrett, which reflects a lot of recent neuroscience. And her deal is, she says that the brain is a predictor. The brain sets you up to confront, as best it can, the next set of circumstances. The brain models the external world inside your information space, inside your consciousness. And based on this model of the world, suggests how to deal with it.
Okay.
So it's a giant associator and predictor.
Okay.
And it's a fancy information processor. And the universe, with all its laws of consistency, of sharing information among its various areas, which seems to be what it does, because the universe operates according to the laws of quantum mechanics, which is, those laws are identical, apparently, with the laws of information. That if there were a theory of how information behaves, that theory would be identical with the theory of quantum mechanics, which is that the universe can only know what it can know. And it's that it can only know so much because it's finite. And it can only exchange so much information with itself, a finite amount of information per unit space, per unit time, that the universe is a little blurry and undefined because it doesn't have an infinity of information to define itself. So it's a little blurry because there are 10 to the 80th or 10 to the 80th particles in the universe constantly exchanging particles with each other. It's the universe, every part of the universe tells every other part of the universe what's going on with it kind of via particles. It's a massive gunfight. And that's maybe the best way to define your space, but it's not the perfect way. There is no perfect way. A perfect way is impossible. It requires an infinity of information. So it's the best the universe can do. If you're shooting bullets at everybody, oh, well, here comes some bullets from that galaxy over, everybody's telling everybody else what's going on. But it's blurry because you only have so many particles shooting so many bullets per unit space and unit time. But it seems like the same kind of deal as the information processing in your brain, or potentially the same kind of deal. The same kind of widely distributed, self-consistent system of shared information. We could break.
All right.